Morning. A very warm welcome to you here. Father Eamonn with you at the microphone and at the camera with two very special guests today. And anybody watching on knows immediately, I hope, who is with us today. So it's nice to have you for our Chatechesis Day 3 of our Mariathon. And we've had special catechetical moments, I suppose, the last couple of mornings. Aidan has brought people under the bus, I suppose, really, as if there's a microphone with a red light on, you're it. So delighted to welcome back to visit us again, Alana Bradley. Alana, welcome.
Thank you, delighted to be here.
Nice to be with you. And Eva, your companion and compatriot in faith in UCD.
Yeah, that's how we refer to each other.
Right-wing woman.
Good, so welcome Eva as well.
Yes,
Good.
thank you. Good to be here.
Nice to have the two ladies with us. We're going to have a little conversation about all things focus and maybe your ministry in UCD and the marvellous work that's going on at student level, third level in Ireland, giving great cause for hope for the future of our younger generation. Eva was mentioning the fabulous retreat that was held some time ago. Very, very impressed with that now, I must say. So do stay with us for that conversation. It's our Mariathon, of course, so we would like you to participate and interact with us. So please do, and I've been challenging our staff with, and I bet Alana probably remembers, the contact numbers for the studio. Well, no, you don't remember?
I'm afraid I'd read out my own number.
Well, that's a good sign. You've moved on. That's good. No, they're not coming back to you?
Maybe if you start me off, I'd...
Eva will give you a hint there.
For the text number, 089
467
Yes.
2000.
Yay! Look at this. She hasn't forgotten. She's still Radio Maria. Died in the womb.
Once it's in there, it never goes out.
The only three numbers I know are my own, my mother's, and Radio Maria.
They're literally the only numbers you will ever need.
No,
So.
yeah, exactly.
The right order too. Good, so text and WhatsApp us on 089467200. If you're in the north or outside of Ireland, of course, +353 894672000. And even the landline number?
01412 3456.
How hard is that?
Yeah, that one's the easy one, really.
So give a call. We have plenty of staff and help on the phone lines today if you'd like to participate. Again, prayer intentions perhaps, maybe a little bit of feedback. We've had some lovely audio, little WhatsApp voice messages coming in that we've been sharing with you of people who very much appreciate and tell us what Radio Maria means to you. So please do interact with us there too. And of course, being our Mariathon and the time of year that's in it, if you can spare a little financial assistance towards us as well, that would be very, very gratefully appreciated. The simplest way is to donate online via the support link on our website, radiomaria.ie. The direct way, and that avoids all fees and so on and so forth, would be through your app, your banking online facility, and our IBAN number, and connect in with us there and set us up as a direct debit or an electronic funds transfer, as they call it. Or do please write to us and send us in a postal order or a cheque as well. Any modest, small contribution would be greatly appreciated indeed, as indeed we hope that many, many listeners enabled to contribute a small amount will help keep us on air. And if you can manage a standing order, we're running at a cost of 90 cents per minute. Tara thought she was guessing €200 a minute, which would have meant 18 million a month or thereabouts. It's euro millions a month to keep that. So that's right. I've seen the gold-plated everything here.
I was wondering.
No, not true, not true. So 90 cents a minute, so 5 minutes worth of sponsorship a month would be fabulous. Say a fiver a month, something like that, just to throw out a figure to help you appreciate all the good that's going on here and the great benefit that it's bringing to so many. So now, thanks indeed for your company. So Alana, please give us an update. As many of you may or may not have known, Alana used to work for us here as a student. At weekends we hauled you out as super value.
Yes,
and tills and bagpacking, and you came to the illustrious establishment of Radio Maria.
Exactly.
And how are things since?
Great. So I might explain a little bit about Focus first of all for those who may not have heard of it before. So Focus stands for the Fellowship of Catholic University Students. So they're a apostolate that work on college campuses. So it was originally founded in America in the 90s. So just about just over 20 years ago by a man called Curtis Martin, and the first campus I think was Benedictine College in Kansas. So basically I think now they're on over 170 campuses in the US, and right now in Europe they're on about, I think it's six campuses. So essentially they're a team of 4 missionaries, 2 men, 2 women. Sometimes they're bigger depending on the campus. I think some of the bigger colleges in America and the bigger Catholic colleges would have maybe 8 on a team, just because there's more demand for them. But essentially what we do is we go onto a college campus and we work with already established Catholic groups on campus. We work alongside the chaplains, and we build a community basically. So we would go out and meet students, and we lead small group Bible studies, and we lead discipleship formation groups. So essentially what those are students that are coming to Bible studies and they're really taking on the material and they're really becoming on fire with their faith and have a natural desire to share that with their friends. So we would walk with them more specifically. So I guess you could kind of sum it all up as spiritual accompaniment, because I think it's easy to invite someone to a retreat or to give someone a Bible or to give someone a rosary beads, but if you're not showing them how to pray or showing them how to read the Bible or accompanying them in their faith, then you will have had an impact on them, but it might not be as lasting as if you were actually walking with them and showing them. Because if we look at the life of Jesus, that's exactly what he did with his disciples. That's how he evangelized, and that's how he taught them how to evangelize as well. Just walking with people, being with people, sharing life with them, and then sending them out to do the same.
Fantastic. So faith friends, really, Anam Cara, as we say in Irish as well. Yes, just journeying with them. Marvellous. And you were telling me downstairs as well just beforehand the difference this year that you've had person face to face.
Yes, absolutely. So yes, this is my second year with Focus. So last year, middle of the pandemic, new role as a missionary on campus was very different. But I think the year that we had last year made me appreciate this semester more, because it was so busy. There was so many people that wanted to be involved, which was absolutely amazing, but it was also quite exhausting. But I think if it was the semester last year, it would have been easy to be like, oh, I'm too tired, I don't want to meet this person right now, or I can't be bothered to do this. But it's like, no, we couldn't do any of this last year. I'm so excited to meet these people and be with these people, which has just been amazing. And it's such a great gift to be able to do this work on the college campus that I actually attended as a student, because this is my 5th year then on campus. So it's just amazing to see how much the community has grown and changed, and for me to go from being a student to then being a missionary. And it's strange now, because a lot of the students that I'm meeting, they only know me as a missionary, because a lot of the people before would have they would have been like my peers, like Eva, like I would have gone to college with them, but now it's like, no, they only know me as a missionary, which is kind of strange, because they're kind of looking to me and I'm like, oh no, when did this happen? When did this happen? But yeah, the difference, this year has just been amazing. There's so many people that desire to be involved. So each of the missionaries are leading about 2 Bible studies each, and then there's some students like Eva that are leading Bible studies as well. So I think overall there's probably over 100 students that are attending Bible studies, which is just amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So what the Bible studies are essentially so we get the material from Focus, so it's not like we're kind of just making it up as we go along and just deciding what we're going to talk about, but it's very structured kind of discussion questions leading on from scriptures that we've read. So a popular one that we would do is called the Crux Bible Study, which basically goes through the message of the gospel. So it's supposed to be 5 weeks, but if you lead a female Bible study, it takes you far longer.
I wonder why.
Yes. I think with the men, it's just so funny to see the difference between the all-male Bible studies and then the all-women Bible studies, because it's like, if it's a male Bible study, it starts at 5, ends at 6. If it's a female Bible study, it could start at 5 and then it could end at 8, because people are just chatting, which is amazing.
Good.
And then, because I think the biggest change I've seen this year with the Bible studies, especially in one of them that I lead on a Wednesday, it's just been hilarious, because apparently everyone's free at 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, because I think in our group chat there's 17 in just that Bible study, and they don't all come every single week, but there's a consistent group of maybe 12 to 13 that are attending every single week. And because usually the most difficult part of a Bible study is trying to get the participants to become friends outside of the Bible study. Like, they'll come and they'll chat while they're there, but they're probably the only kind of people that they know that are involved in their faith and desire to know more, but then they're with them for like an hour, 3 hours each week sometimes, but then they'll go off and kind of be with their other friends. So it's usually extremely difficult to get them to form friendships outside of the Bible study. But this year it was just so easy. They all just naturally became friends, and it got to a point where we were like, okay, we have to stop just talking, we have to actually start the Bible study. Which is such a gift, because I'd say usually the hardest part, and community is just so important for being built up in your faith and forming you and keeping you in your faith, because if there's not people kind of holding you accountable and walking with you and sharpening you, then it's very, very easy to kind of fall off and become distracted by the things of this world, especially on a college campus when there's so much being offered to you and things that will make you happy or things that will fulfill you, which is just not true. So to have a good set of friends, a good group of people that you're running with, let's say, is so important. And yeah, it helped me so much in my faith in college, and now being able to do that and facilitate that for other people has been amazing.
Fantastic. Sounds fabulous. And Eva, as you're at the receiving end of that, you're the student, the other end of that, let's say. How do you experience that, or how do you?
Oh, it's amazing. I'm so grateful for my college experience, because I know it's not a universal experience. I know a lot of people go to college and their faith becomes something that is very easily brushed aside, or it can be very hard to keep it a priority even if you want to keep it as a priority. But because we have Focus and we have a great Catholic community in Ireland in UCD, it's slightly larger scale. It's so much easier, like Alana is saying, like when you have people to walk alongside you and encourage you and hold you accountable, it becomes so much more easy to consistently make faith a priority, which is amazing. And yeah, it's been a real blessing this year in particular, because I mean also my first year of college, but this year there's just something very special about this past semester. I think maybe in contrast to last year with the pandemic, but yeah, it's really encouraging to see how many people are so enthusiastic to get involved, and having people who are there to help them get involved. And it's not just like they have these desires that remain unfulfilled. Like there's so many ways of like reaching out to them, and so many ways of getting involved if you wish to get involved, which is really great. Yeah,
I think it's the moment, I would suggest anyway, if you're going to pick any moment, let's say, in the journey for a young adult, let's say, because secondary school seems to be dominated by a lot of peer pressure, and it's confined by the points race and all these other kind of constraining issues. Once you're on campus, you're in third level, you're a different source of freedom, and now is the challenging questions, I think, really hit, and it's a ripe time to move in and offer the truth in that. And the companionship, I think, really is a key ingredient.
Absolutely, yeah.
So great here, growing from strength to strength, thanks be to God, and the numbers that are getting involved. And the retreat that Eva mentioned up in Rosnowla sound like a marvellous gathering for them. And again, sort of away from the college sort of cycle, and then, as you say, Alana, then a chance to get to know each other a bit better and to deepen those friendships, which could last beyond the college spectrum too. That's not just a college thing.
Yeah, that was really special, that retreat, for many reasons. And that particular retreat centre 7 years ago was where I went on my first retreat, where I had like an encounter with God and was like, okay, God's real, what does this mean? So it was just really special to go back as a missionary and bring all of these people that I had met throughout this past semester or through these past years, and have become very dear friends to me. And yeah, being able to then facilitate a retreat for them where everyone had a really positive experience, and anyone that had been on a retreat before, some of them were saying it was the best retreat they'd ever been on, and others that had never been on a retreat before, never thought that this would be possible for them to go on. And I think just after the past few years of not being able to do anything like that, and then being able to do it, and it was a very simple retreat, but it was a lot of time of prayer, and people just had very, very profound experiences in adoration. And a lot of people, some of the people that came aren't even Catholic, but are now considering becoming Catholic because of the community they've experienced. And I think just having like a real Catholic community, whereas maybe some Catholics that they've met in the past, or their experience of Catholicism would have been like different and would have maybe turned them away from the faith. But having the community in UCD and all the people that they've met that have been so welcoming and so hospitable and so invitational as well, because I feel like a lot of Irish people do have a very real reputation of we're very friendly and very hospitable, but everyone is friendly, but no one wants to be your friend is something that's commonly like said, I think. And I think in a lot of like Christians are known as being like welcoming, like happy, like joyful, but if you're not actually desiring to be like friends with someone and you're kind of just like talking to them and being polite and being kind, but you're not actually inviting them to things, or you're not really investing in the friendship, that's like great, but it's also like it's not going to change their life, or it's not going to really lead them towards Christ, because you're not inviting them to. And I think that that's the biggest change that I've seen in my time in UCD as a student and now as a missionary, is just the kind of emphasis on invitation. And just because someone says they're not interested in the faith, or says they're not really religious, or says they're not really any of these things, that it doesn't mean you can't invite them to something, because their idea of the church or the faith might be very different to what is actually true, and the only way that they'll come to the truth is if someone's inviting them to something. And I think like my time as a student, it was kind of like, oh, this is like the missionary's job, or like this is what the missionaries do. But towards the end of my time as a student, realizing like, no, this is something that I can also do. We're all called to be missionaries. And even Focus's mission statement is like the Great Commission that Jesus gave to his disciples to go therefore and make disciples of all nations. And yet, nowhere in that does it say anything about college students. So why do Focus operate like on a college campus? Like what? But we're equipping the college students so that for the rest of their lives that they'll be able to invest in people and to meet people where they're at, whether they leave college and become missionaries, or they leave and go into full-time work, or they become parents, or in any stage of life that they are in, that the formation that they would have received in college with Focus and through the community that they experience in college, that they would be equipped to, in whatever stage of life that they are in, that they would be able to the best of their ability, be able to lead a Bible study with their somewhere in their parish, or still be able to be on mission. And I think it's easier in college because you have so much free time in college. You don't think that when you're in college, and if someone told me while I was in college you have so much free time, I'd be like, no, I don't, I have so much to do. But it's true, in college you do have so much free time, you have little responsibilities, so it's at the perfect time to kind of equip students to help them to realize that no, this is actually possible for them. They don't need like a theology degree, or they don't need any of these things, or they don't need to know everything, but they just need to have a love of God. They need a desire to share that, and once you come to know God, that's a natural desire, because if you experience the love of God, of course you want to share that with people. It's the best thing ever.
Very good, thanks Alana. If you just joined us or you're watching in, I'm with Alana Bradley, a member of Focus, the Focus Mission Team, Fellowship of Catholic University Students based in UCD, and doing marvellous work with our students. And Eva, of course, is with me too. Eva works here after Alana's, I suppose it's sort of there's a bit of continuity there, I think, too.
Passing on.
I was thinking the first time I was ever here was with you for a Mariathon, so I was just thinking a bit of a full circle moment.
Here we are.
Nice, there you are. Well, if you don't mind me saying, Alana, as well, I can sense you have grown into it very well and have matured and powered forward with it. It's obviously being very formational for yourself personally, I'd say too.
Yes, because I think I think it's very easy to say that you have faith in God and trust in God when you're kind of, the next step, and what will happen next. Like when I was a second year in college, I was like, I know next year I'm gonna be in my third year, so like I trust God and he'll take care of everything. But when you're a missionary and you're fundraising your salary and there's all these things that you don't have control of, you realize how much you really are not in control of anything, and that God really is the one at the driving seat. And the more that you kind of surrender and give that to him, the easier your life becomes, because you just grow in trust of him. And regardless if you believe it or not, like he is in the driving seat, so it just makes your life a lot easier if you can just trust it all to him. And then you're less stressed and you're more free to then be as you are because you know that you're being taken care of. And I think this last year, I've never had so many opportunities to very tangibly put my trust in God because I've had no other choice, and He's always fulfilled and always upheld everything in that. So I can't help but say that I have changed, and it's been partly because of being a missionary and being out in the field, let's say, but also because I'm just very lucky that I get to pray a holy hour every single day as part of my schedule with Focus. And no other job, I guess, unless you probably enter religious life, will you get
you work at Radio Maria.
Yes, exactly. You'll get like time in your schedule to pray, which is so important. And it is so important as a missionary that because you're giving of yourself so much, you're giving so much to the people that you're meeting, you're giving so much to the work that you're doing, that it's very easy to get very drained. And if you're not being filled up yourself by God, like through prayer and through the sacraments, then it'll just be very easy for you to get very exhausted and very kind of disheartened. But I think, something that we would always say is that we're reservoirs and not channels, because channels just kind of flow one way through, but reservoirs, they get filled up before they overflow. So we hope to be reservoirs and not channels, that we're so filled up that we're kind of giving from our abundance rather than like giving from our reserves, if that makes sense.
Fabulous. Very good. Thanks, Alana. If anybody's listening in now, hopefully you're enthused by all of this marvellous work. And no doubt it's having a great effect in UCD in general. I mean, no doubt the chaplaincy are very supported, even at all too. You're noticing some of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just, it's actually really lovely because the chaplaincy has now become a place where people, it's almost like a haven for people. Like people just come, and it's not just like the specific events that people would come along to, but there's a genuine sense of community that people would just show up. And I was thinking about it even just yesterday, a few of us were there to study after Mass, and our chaplain, Father Brendan, was there, and someone started asking questions, just like quite basic, questions about the faith, and suddenly about an hour had passed and it had just been everyone in the circle like going around asking Father Brendan like all these different questions, and I was just really struck by what a special moment it was, because they all just felt very comfortable to ask him these things, and also that these young people who have questions have somewhere to go with their questions, and have how we have a chaplain who's so willing to sit with us and spend time with us and answer all our questions and walk with us. We're very lucky in that regard as well. I think it's just had a very positive impact on the community as a whole, and I would hope that it has an impact then on the broader UCD community as well, because we're not just like staying in this little bubble. Everyone is going out from that place, but everyone has a place to almost recharge and be filled back up, and be encouraged. And I think that's really important, finding that balance, because we're not called just to hide away and lock the doors and to sit in our jacuzzi, as we call it.
Oh, you got jacuzzi.
But we're called to go out. It's great to have community, and it's really important, but also that should be impacting on every aspect of your life, and not just the people who are in that community, but it should be impacting on everyone you encounter in your classes, everyone you're interacting with during the day, and I think I've really seen that this semester, of like people really taking that on, and not just being like a lovely place that we all come and get together, but it being a place that we go out from, and there's been a real focus on mission, I think, this semester in a really special way, which has been really cool to see, because not only are there lots of new people coming in, but having been in UCD for I guess 2.5 years now, this is my 3rd year, seeing how the people that I met when I was in 1st year have come on so far, and how through focus and through building a relationship with God, they've had, like, I feel like people's lives have been transformed over the past few years, and it's been really cool to see both sides of both the new people coming in and encountering this for the first time, but also the people who have been walking this path for a bit longer. It's a really amazing thing to see, I think.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I can hear there's a successor, Alana, there. You're generating future missionaries here too.
We'll see.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, leave that with the Lord. But it sounds very much like, it's contagious in some way, that the mission and the activity is, the reservoir is overflowing, and the grace is certainly flowing as well. So thanks for your messages. Do please get in touch with us, 089467200. Bernadette says, so lovely to hear those young girls on the radio. Thanks, Bernadette. Indeed, there are two lovely young girls, Bernadette. Come and meet them, in fact, too. And Joan says, great fun listening to your wit and banter, and thanks indeed for sharing with us today. It is our Mariathon, of course, a slightly different flavour here. But for us, you were mentioning, Eva, the idea of, the blessing of having the priest there and the people coming in and interacting, all the fellowship that generates. I might just say for us here at the radio too, and I do hope for our listeners and viewers as well, that you are relishing this moment as well, because it's a great sign of hope and a great sign the Holy Spirit is moving and powerfully at work in our church here in Ireland and among our young people particularly, because one of the great cries of the priests and the aging priests and the older population who are remaining faithful, the youth, and it's sort of perpetual. So it certainly is happening. Thanks be to God. I'm delighted to hear Radio Mayor to be able to share some of that. And indeed, thanks to Eva and Alana, you've had shows here involving young people that have kind of come and gone and waxed and waned. That's natural too. But my hope is that there would be a little bit of overflow again, to open the microphone to what you're doing and let them come and share with us, Excuse me. So again, please get in touch, 089467200 to text and WhatsApp, and give a call here as well, 014-123456. So Focus Mission, or Focus, it's Focus Ministries, or what's the full title?
I think if you look it up online, it's Focus Ministries.
Ministries, okay. So Fellowship of Catholic University Students, a very worthy apostolate to support in the same way indeed as Radio Maria as well. If you're indeed putting something aside to help the church grow, I couldn't recommend it more strongly. So I might pause for a piece of music. I think this conversation is a moment to hold on to. Brendan has been initiated and inaugurated and is up and running now with Focus 2, and we hope to get him on air when he will twist his arm and
I'll bring him in. I'll bring him in.
You scruff of the neck.
Yes.
But he's in Germany, so what's the update there?
So Focus Europe have 6 campuses. So there's one in Dublin, there's one in Southampton in England, there's 2 in Austria, one in Vienna, and then a new campus this year which is called Krems University. So that's about 2 hours outside of Vienna. And then we have a campus in Passau in Germany, and then a campus in Dusseldorf in Germany, which is where Brendan is. So there's 4 on the team there, and then there's also a family that live there. So they're American, but they have been with Focus for the previous 6 years, I think. So they are living in Dusseldorf. They've raised their kids. Their kids have been born in all the different places that they've been around. So truly a missionary family, which is just amazing. So they're there as well. So there's 4 of them, and then the family as well. So their semester is quite different. So I think they're only about halfway through their first semester there. But it's definitely a very different field than in Ireland. And it's just like hearing his experience of how it's been. I think Ireland is just like so easy in comparison, like because there is such a cultural faith here in Ireland. Like people, even if they don't practice like personally, like they know a lot about the faith, and they have some kind of Catholic like upbringing, at least. Like they've gone to like Catholic like schools or whatever, but in Germany it's just so different. So he's getting on really well. He's obviously finding it different and learning a new language, and the culture is so different, and the German people are so different to Irish people, and trying to navigate all of those things. But when you're working for God, he always gives you whatever you need. So
so at least you're saying you can order his fast food in German.
Yes, you knew that. He won't go hungry.
Crucial.
Priorities.
Interesting. And I imagine you're like you say, you're starting from a sort of a lower level. Let's say there's probably only a very basic concept maybe of God or faith, that there wouldn't be the intensity of practice, or let's say the cultural background. That can work both ways, I suppose, because you can get people who are curious because it's something new and something different, or maybe alternatively they have preconceived ideas that are all over the place and don't know where to turn.
Yes, exactly.
It's interesting. I will hopefully get it from the horse's mouth when Brendan comes to and learn a bit more. So it's wonderful work, and just so pleased really that there's this and other great like Holy Family Mission and other initiatives like that are going on around Ireland now today. It's most encouraging, and to be so articulate in your faith and so missionary minded at a young age is very impressive too, I must say. So God bless you, absolutely marvellous. So listen, we encourage you to get involved again. You might be watching back this later, listening back later as well. Do connect in with us again, 089 467 2000. And if you want to drop a comment or anything here on our Facebook page as well, you'll be very welcome to as well. Well, Brendan apparently is coming on at 2 o'clock. I didn't realise he's scheduled for today. He is.
Yeah, he's going to be on joining us.
Oh, good. Sure, great. We'll get it. The real deal then. We'll see.
The real deal.
What's
that was the fake deal.
Yeah. We'll see what's on the menu.
Yes.
Yeah, you must get him speaking some German.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis just in touch as well. Great listening to students and missionary work that they do, so badly needed. May the Lord and His Blessed Mother guide and protect you on your missionary journey and throughout life. Very well done to you all. So thanks, Dennis. Nice little message to receive there as well. So very good. Again, we're in the middle of our Mariathon, or we'll come to the end of our Mariathon really, and we just had some lovely moments over the last few days as well, sharing with you feedback and connecting in with various friends of Radio Maria, and just relishing the moment that's in the great blessings and gift that is the radio here. We might dip into Aidan's little hit list here, because it can be hazardous as well as entertaining.
Oh dear.
So, Alana, would you like to jump in there? We'll dip into a few questions.
Gosh.
Might be for all or for...
What are 2 of your hobbies?
Oh, wow.
Just you, Alana?
Wow.
Just you.
Hobbies? What are my interests?
Don't have time for hobbies.
Whenever anyone asks about my hobbies, I'm like...
What do I do? What are my hobbies? I really enjoy reading, and it was interesting because when I was doing my degree, I had to read a lot for college, and because I did history and politics, they're very essay heavy, so doing a lot of reading. And I had this silly idea in my head that if I read for pleasure, that my brain would get too full of things, so I couldn't read anything that I actually wanted to read. And if I had time, that I should be reading things to do with my degree, so I really kind of didn't really read at all. And then as soon as I finished my degree in May of 2020, I kind of just jumped right back into reading. And then again, it's kind of been busy this last semester, so I haven't really been able to, but I really enjoy reading. And then I guess I also love praying, but that's not really a hobby.
She loves to pray.
Yeah. I also really enjoy roller skating as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah. I used to be good at that too. Ice skating.
Yes.
Nice. Actually, it just struck me there, hobbies, where it can be so engrossed in social media and all these things, as you were talking earlier. Just the fellowship that you're generating with the mission work is pulling people out of the artificial social media world and into reality, and that's hugely beneficial. Hugely beneficial,
definitely,
because we can get ourselves into all our little mini crises if we're just confined to the.
And you're connected with so many people, and everything's kind of at your fingertips. But then, kind of, when you switch off your phone, you're kind of like, no one actually really knows me, or I don't really know anyone, because it's all like whatever you choose to put up, or whatever you choose for the world to perceive you as. But then when you're like meeting people and you're kind of talking about the deeper things, and you're talking about like prayer and like your relationship with God and all of these things of actual substance, then you feel so much more known, rather than just like whatever social media can offer you. It's just not going to last or give you fulfillment.
Yeah, because it creates such a superficial sense of connection, because you're you're consuming all of this stuff and you're seeing everyone's pictures and so very often you know what your friends are doing, but you haven't talked to them about it. Like, you know that they're on holidays, but they haven't told you and you haven't had a conversation with them about it. So I think, it creates this like artificial level of feeling like you have all these people in your life, but actually there's often a very deep sense of loneliness that can go along with that, because people aren't really connecting on a deeper level when they're so wrapped up in that world and they're constantly glued to their phones.
Yeah, so hence the huge blessing that ministry is bringing, the interconnectivity. Good. We got into deep water there with that one. That's all right too. See how we do, Eva, with another one.
Let's see. Read out some feedback we receive on the feedback group. You don't have your phone with you or anything, or are you on the feedback group there? I'm not sure if I have
got some lovely feedback over the last few days. It's just been pretty impressive. Kathy says, hello anyway, Alana. So great hearing your voice back on air again. That's Kathy O'Leary representing Cork.
Hello, Kathy.
Great hearing about your work with Focus, she says. Keep up the good work. So well done. Inspiring there all the while. And the feedback group there, Eva, how are you fixed? No?
Maybe if you just...
I want her to hear if that helps.
She's so detached.
She's living out exactly what we were
really
talking
living
about.
in the moment these days, you know?
Well done. Very edifying. Very edifying. Good on you. Bernadette just enjoyed the Mass this morning. She says, I light a candle for all your intentions every day. Thank you, Bernadette, for the prayers on our behalf. There's great support too. And Roseanne like to thank Radio Maria and all for the great work that you're doing. I would feel very lonely and alone and isolated without Radio Maria. It brings me hope and comfort. God bless you all. Please keep it going. That's from Roseanne. They just came in a little earlier today. So well done. Thanks for that. Nice little bit of feedback. Now I'll grab a little sheet here and hopefully it won't be anything too embarrassing. The landline number. Okay, 0, that's easy. 014-123-456. Give a call right now. You might like to pledge something if it is that, again, you haven't something to hand otherwise, and send it in your own time. But please help us. But those prayers, lighting a candle for us, fabulous altogether. Telling others about Radio Maria is another marvellous way to support us, or coming on the microphone and maybe chatting with us or praying with us is another way to support as well. So 014-123-456. So Alana, take us on. Well, I'll get through the pile.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Ooh.
Wow.
Great one.
Wow.
30 seconds.
Wow.
Starting.
This is a very silent 30 seconds.
I'd ponder for maybe 15 of those. I guess my missionary self would try and share the gospel in 30 seconds. And that like we're made for a relationship. This relationship is broken by sin. The sin caused a huge chasm that cannot be bridged by us alone, by us finite human beings. We need an infinite source of love to bridge the gap, and Jesus came and he is the bridge, because he is fully God and fully man. Because he is human, he could offer the sacrifice on our behalf, and because he is divine, it was made perfect. And we're all like implicated in that then, and we're invited to participate then in that through the life of the church and inviting other people into that. I guess that was about 30 seconds.
Amen. Mic drop there.
I think anyone watching on the camera will just see me beaming. Alana.
I can feel it. I didn't even look at it. I felt it.
Spot on, Alana. I won't try and improve on that. So, Eva, take us to the next level. Very good.
Describe the person to your left in 3 words.
Three words. Oh.
How would I do that?
People are listening. Just
let me see. This is a hyphenated word, but we're going to count it as one. Self-sacrificial. Sassy. And I feel like this word can get overused, but kind, I think, is one of the words, because I think you're kind in a very she's not just nice. She's not always nice.
That's clear. She's not nice.
But she's a deeply kind person.
Good.
So
Lovely to hear.
Thank you.
Lovely to hear. Well done. Thank
it's the
you for
most
that.
affirmation I've given Alana in a long time.
That's not true. A very nice Christmas card with lots of nice
true,
things.
true.
Well done. Our time has escaped us. Thanks for that, Eva. Thank you, Alana, and lovely to see you here, and lovely to have you back. And by all means, continue to not be a stranger.
It was great to be back. Thank you, Father.
Sure, and we're delighted to support and endorse and encourage every which way. And I think for all our dear listeners and friends, again, very, very uplifting to hear, young people on fire with their faith, and great hope indeed for the church. So great blessing, and lovely to come in for a Mariathon. Nice moment to share. Good, we're approaching 12 o'clock, so thanks for your company. We'll probably stay on camera for the prayers, will we? Good, so we'll keep the camera switched on, and you can join us for Angelus and midday prayer. And do please stay with us. We'll continue with Your Say, of course, after the prayer, and our live rosary, of course, and lunchtime show with Ollie Clark. He'll be here in person today as well, and there'll be a lovely music programme between 1 and 2. So it's been a great blessing to have Alana and Eva with us today. They will stay with us, I think, I presume, maybe, and pray on with us. So it's 12 o'clock now. Let's pause for our Angelus bells and our midday prayer.